Wait a minute. Ally Bank? In Nigeria? Hold on. Let's rewind. If you're sitting there thinking, yeah, I've got my Ally Bank account, no problem, you might be in for a surprise. Or maybe you're just curious. Either way, we're about to dive deep into a question that might sound a little, well, out there. Is there a Nigerian bank that can actually rival a digital giant like Ally Bank? Now, before you start typing in the comments, Ally Bank doesn't operate in Nigeria. Yes, we know. But let's take a moment to unpack this. See, Ally Bank, for those who aren't familiar, is a US-based, online-only bank. It's known for its high-interest savings accounts, no-fee checking, and overall user-friendly digital experience. It's a benchmark for what a modern, customer-centric bank looks like, especially in the digital age. So, why even compare it to Nigerian banks? Well, because the global financial landscape is changing rapidly. Fintech is booming, and the expectations of consumers are evolving. Nigerians, just like anyone else, want seamless digital banking, competitive interest rates, and minimal fees. They want convenience and reliability. And that's where the comparison becomes relevant. We're not talking about a direct, apples-to-apples comparison. We're talking about the spirit of Ally Bank, its customer-first approach, and asking which Nigerian banks are getting close to that ideal. Let's be honest, traditional banking in Nigeria has its challenges. Long queues, hefty fees, and sometimes a less than stellar digital experience. But the landscape is shifting. We're seeing a surge in digital banking adoption, driven by innovative fintech startups and forward-thinking traditional banks. First, let's look at the core strengths of Ally Bank and what makes it so appealing. We're talking about high-yield savings. Ally consistently offers competitive interest rates on savings accounts. No fee checking, minimal or no fees for basic checking services. User-friendly digital platform, a seamless and intuitive online and mobile banking experience. Excellent customer service, responsive and helpful customer support. These are the pillars of modern banking that customers around the world are demanding. Now, let's bring it back to Nigeria. Are there banks that are ticking these boxes? Let's start with the digital experience. In recent years, several Nigerian banks have invested heavily in their mobile apps and online platforms. Banks like GT Bank, Access Bank, and Zenith Bank have significantly improved their digital offerings. They now offer features like instant transfers and bill payments, mobile app alerts and notifications, online account management and statements, digital loan applications. These features are becoming standard, but the user experience is where the real difference lies. How intuitive is the app? How reliable are the services? How quickly can you get assistance if you encounter a problem? Then, there's the issue of fees. Traditionally, Nigerian banks have been known for their various charges, from account maintenance fees to transaction fees. However, some banks are starting to adopt a more customer-friendly approach. Some offer reduced or waived fees for certain transactions or account types, especially for those who actively use their digital platforms. This is a step in the right direction, but there's still room for improvement. Now, let's talk about interest rates. This is where the comparison gets tricky. While some Nigerian banks offer savings accounts with interest, the rates are often significantly lower than what you might find with a bank like Ally. This is largely due to the economic realities and regulatory environment in Nigeria. However, some fintech platforms and microfinance banks are offering more competitive rates, especially for fixed deposit accounts or specialized savings products. Customer service is another critical factor. Ally Bank is known for its responsive and helpful customer support. Can the same be said for Nigerian banks? While some banks have made strides in improving their customer service, there's still a perception that it can be slow and inefficient. However, the rise of social media and digital communication is forcing banks to be more responsive and transparent. So, which Nigerian banks are getting close to the Ally Bank ideal? It's not about finding a perfect replica. It's about identifying banks that are prioritizing a seamless digital experience, competitive rates and minimal fees, excellent customer service. Based on these criteria, a few banks stand out. GT Bank, with its robust mobile app and online platform, is often praised for its digital innovation. Access Bank, with its focus on digital transformation and customer experience, is also making significant strides. And Zenith Bank, with its strong financial performance and growing digital presence, is another contender. But it's not just the big banks that are making waves. Fintech startups like PiggyVest and Kuda Bank are also disrupting the market with their innovative savings and banking solutions. They're offering competitive interest rates, no-fee banking, and a user-friendly digital experience. These platforms are catering to a younger, tech-savvy generation that demands convenience and affordability. However, it's important to acknowledge that there are still challenges. Issues like internet connectivity, financial inclusion, and regulatory hurdles can hinder the progress of digital banking in Nigeria. But the potential is immense. As more Nigerians embrace digital technology, the demand for better banking services will only grow. The question isn't really about finding a Nigerian bank that's exactly like Ally Bank. It's about recognizing the trends and identifying the banks that are moving in the right direction. It's about asking, which banks are prioritizing the customer? Which banks are embracing digital innovation? Which banks are offering competitive rates and minimal fees? Ultimately, the future of banking in Nigeria is digital. And the banks that embrace this reality will be the ones that thrive. They will be the ones that come closest to the customer-centric ideal of a bank like Ally. It's a journey, not a destination. And the banks that are willing to listen to their customers, innovate, and adapt will be the winners. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.